Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Doerr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, coming to you from Chicago. And I've got the one, the only Miss Phenomenal Linda G.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Ooh, your Spanish is good.
That's the same Spanish I've known. I worked labor and delivery, so I did know like no puje, señora. Respira, respira, no puje, which means
Breathe,
don't
breathe,
push.
push. Um, I love these people when they say, "Oh, I speak Spanish," and they just take an English word and put an O on the end of it, like "I drive el carro," and they think they're speaking Spanish.
Yeah, but don't ever do that to a Spanish speaking person. That pisses them off. They
I
don't like it.
know. I know. No, I speak Spanish. Español es muy importante porque es la segunda lenguaje aquí en los Estados Unidos.
You speak everything. You speak a little German, you speak everything.
I said it's very important as a second language here in the United States. So what's going on with you, Miss G?
Nothing. It rained like I did football weekend this weekend, and I just I don't know why, you guys. I'm a football fanatic. I watched all the teams, not just my team. My team barely won that, but they'll be in the playoffs this Sunday.
Uh,
And I got to tell you, they're going to play a really good team coming up. I think it's Green Bay. I'm nervous, but you know what? Whatever. I am having a good time.
I'm that way with ice hockey. I love ice
You
hockey.
love ice. I love football.
And
I
so,
like baseball when it gets towards the end and you know who's in the win.
well, with baseball, uh I'm a Cubs fan. In Chicago, either Sox or Cubs. I love going to Wrigley Field. You have to park where God lost his boot. But I love getting the Chicago hot dogs. They're so good. Sitting right behind, home base and just watching the game is so cool. Having the hot dog and the beer. And it's like, yes, there's
If
nothing.
you ever come out here, we'll take you to a game. My sister has season tickets.
Okay.
That new stadium they built, they have the most delicious hot crab sandwiches.
Oh, yum. Hey,
Oh
Cam,
my God, their food there is really good.
I'm going to be on the next airplane. Hi, Linda. I want the crabs. A sandwich.
But I was supposed to go to a birthday party Saturday. My girlfriend, I even got a new dress and everything. And it was raining. So I can't do that. I can't drive at night in the pouring rain. Not like when I was in my 20s drinking and driving. I had no problem with it.
Yeah, well,
But by the grace of God go I. I don't know how I survived that.
it doesn't bother me driving in snow. I mean, I've driven in like blizzards, not whiteouts, that's scary. But here it's like, okay, you slow down. The black ice is bad. But if it's pouring rain, I just freak out. It's hard to see. I can't,
Hard to see.
yeah, I freak out with that.
The
But
worst ring I ever was in was when my first husband, whatchamacall, and I were driving his Corvette to Ohio to visit his family. We went through Chicago. And all of a sudden, something happened where it was pouring. You couldn't see. I don't care how much your windshield was. You could not see out the front.
that's
And
what
we actually kind of parked under a bridge. It was you couldn't even hardly see the red tail lights. That was the worst I've ever been in.
one time we were driving back from Ohio, we're in Indiana, and it was really bad. I told Gary, pull over. He goes, no, 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 no. I go, Gary, this is tornado weather. This is bad. You
Yeah.
pull over, you can drive on. But so we pulled by this restaurant or something, and it was really, really bad. So we went in. He said, let's sit in the car. I go, no. And then we heard there had been tornadoes all around that area. I just had a feeling. So
You went in and had a cup of coffee where other people watching the weather.
oh, yeah, it was like, yeah, it was really bad. So I mean, the wind was blowing, trees were like, it was like, whoa. So safe
We
haven.
were supposed to have heavy duty winds yesterday. A part of an oak tree fell in my son's driveway.
Wow.
And oak trees are famous for falling over. And a big, huge tree fell in the city and hit a bunch of cars.
I've got a big ash tree in my backyard. Most of the ash trees in Cook County die because of Asian ash borer, but I saved it. I treat it every 2 years and it's beautiful. It almost died, but I said, okay, tree, you can't die. but I get a little nervous when the winds get high. So speaking of weather, remember
Yeah.
a long time when you guys were having the drought, we kept saying, "Oh, you're gonna get rain. It's gonna," and here we are.
And we'll wish that we hadn't wished so hard.
Right, exactly. But you brought up something before the show on the East Coast, and you said that they're predicting the weather's going to be in the 70s, which means with all that snow, there's going to be flooding because snow melting. But also, I'm picking up, if that's the case, there's going to be a lot of tornadoes.
Yeah. I
So,
heard it on the news. They said, I watch the Weather Channel quite frequently. And they said, actually, it's going to go up. Now we're getting a reprieve from the rain. It's going to start again tomorrow. This weekend, a little reprieve. By next Tuesday, it's pouring.
do you guys get tornadoes?
There had been a tornado up here one time, not huge, more like a dust bunny or whatever.
No,
But no,
I think there's going to be huge tornadoes are going to, and I hope I'm wrong, that'll probably hit the Midwest and the East Coast.
wow.
So this weather, it's just nature's way of saying we've got to look at climate change.
When is tornado weather?
Usually in the spring, usually starts around maybe April and kind of runs maybe until like, midsummer or later. It's and sometimes in the fall, but mostly in the spring. But
Wow.
so those tornadoes like in the winter, I mean, to date they've been unheard of, but
Yeah.
it's really frightening. So that's why I always have a house with a basement because I was in a tornado once. April
Yeah.
the 1st, 1974, I'll never forget it. It was in Louisville, actually. And it was a level 5 tornado. That's where they came up with the Fujita scale, was because of that tornado. And it was, oh my God. It was
But
like
did it destroy where you were living?
my mother was in an apartment building and we didn't have a basement, but we were on the ground floor. And we were out and the sky got this horrible, like weird green, and it got real still, and you could see lightning. And my mom, me and my grandma, and I said, we need to get home. And we got home, and the phone rang, and my sister said, a tornado's coming your way. I don't know if it was on the news or whatever. And we looked out, we could see it coming across
Yeah.
the interstate.
Was
And
it black?
it was just this huge wedge tornado, and the sound was like, oh my God, you can't explain it. And so I heard the water in the toilet kind of jostle. So I got mom, grandma, and me in the bathroom, and luckily we were on a bottom floor, but still. So it didn't hit us, but it hit right next to us. And then it went, my stepfather worked for the phone company in those days, and he was at the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center. There's this huge coliseum, and he was inside there when it hit that, and it took a huge chunk of the roof off. And he said he just kind of hunkered down under some chairs and just to, protect himself from debris. And he said when he went outside, it was just like cars were overturned, like these, those big uh billboards with the steel girders with the steel,
Yeah.
they were just twisted like that. He said it looked like this big hand just came and threw everything up in the air, and just where it landed. It was
When
a
I was a baby, my parents took me to some sort of baby place that they would watch the children for a little while, and they went to a movie and they stopped the movie and said, everybody in the basement, a tornado's coming. So my dad sent my mom to the basement, and of course, my dad, he ain't afraid of nothing. He got in that car and drove to where I was to get me.
wow.
And it was pretty bad by the time he got there. And he grabbed me and took me out to the car and took off and went back. But in the meantime, the place right next to that place, the whole roof went.
Gary
So,
laughed at me because in the basement I got a jug of water down there. I've got like like a lantern. It's electric. I got flashlights down there. When the tornado warnings, if you hear the sirens, you need to go. But when it gets bad, I hear those sirens. I go in the basement. I take the dog. I got my little corner. And so Gary, he could sleep through the guns of Navarone. But I told him, I said, one of these days, you're going to be asleep. There's going to be a tornado that's hitting, and your ass is going to end up in Oz somewhere.
yeah. Do you got a little porta potty down there?
No, but that's a good idea. I should probably put one down there.
They make these great porta potties now.
You know what? That's a good idea. I think I'll do that. But
My native in Oklahoma, my cousin Regina, you know Regina,
right.
they were able to build a shelter underneath the ground, and the Comanches paid for it. And
Wow.
they did use it one time. She had her mom. Her mom was just so sick, and they grabbed her up and got down in that, but it didn't destroy their house.
And I see a lot more hurricanes hitting coming up through the Gulf and and from
I
the
did have a couple of people ask about that, but let's start answering questions.
let's go. Okay, you want to start?
Enough about me. What do you think of me?
Oh, by the way, I do have some openings for Africa. So if you're interested in the brochure, you can go to my website, www.meldoer, meldoerr.com. All right. I've got openings for about, I think, 4 people, maybe 5. So I got to get them in by the end of this month, beginning of next month. So if you're interested, come with us. You'll have the time of your life, I promise. The Rhine River is almost sold out. So,
Wow,
but
that's wonderful.
Africa, I've got some openings. So,
Okay.
or call my office at 847-590-5411. Okay. So are we ready?
Ready.
Okay.
You want me to go first?
You go first.
This is an interesting question. It's a
Beauty,
little
beauty
off the
before
beaten track.
beauty before age.
There you go. That's what I'm talking. Hi, Linda and Mel. Sad story. 3 friends went to a 4th friend's house to watch the Kansas City Chiefs game last weekend. They were found dead on the back porch and yard by a fiance after the homeowner didn't answer calls. Foul play is not suspected. What happened to them?
Wait, they were found dead on the back.
Dead on the back porch, which means it probably had plenty of ventilation. Because I think carbon monoxide poisoning.
That's what I picked up, but I wonder if the porch wasn't closed.
Maybe it wasn't closed. I feel they were poisoned, either poisoned by carbon monoxide or something they ate.
But there's something they ate, they would have symptoms.
They would have had vomit everywhere, probably even called 911.
I'm picking up as something they inhaled, so I'm thinking it was probably carbon monoxide.
Okay.
And you don't even know that
Let us know, dogs to Malamutes. Let us know.
You don't even know. Like my grandmother used to have this space heater in her little bathroom, and I went in there one time and I got really sleepy because it wasn't vented. And she knocked on the door, and finally I came out and I had the worst headache. She goes, "You're all red." My mother said, "Yeah, it's probably carbon monoxide from that unvented heater in the bathroom." So grandma took it out, and
Oh, wow.
yeah. So, and I mean, it can get you like that.
And it is awfully cold too in Kansas City.
Right.
So
I
they probably had a space heater or something.
That's what I think. Okay.
How sad. 3 people just going to go watch the game.
I'm sorry. I feel really bad about that. Mickey McLaren says, will there be massively increased security in January 6, 2025 in Washington for counting the electoral votes? Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
yes. I see all kinds of fencing put up that people are going to have a hard time breaking through and all of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of security.
And that brings up another question. Will there be violence? I think there will be like a lot of police, National Guard, maybe. But the electors, people are worried about that, about fake electors. What do you pick up on that?
I see them watching him like a hawk.
So
It's not as easy for him to cheat because he's not president anymore.
correct. All right.
So I see them watching him like a hawk.
All right, your turn, dear.
Okay. Big hello to Linda and Mal. This is DRC. Now that the Kinky Boots, DeSantis, admits to being a loser, will his power in Florida erode, and will he fade away from politics forever?
Well,
I drew on that last night, and it did not look good for him.
at some point, I see, Florida going purple. And I think people have had it with his draconian BS down there. And I heard he just endorsed Trump. Well, Trump couldn't stand a Satan,
Yeah, he might even ask Trump, would you put me in your cabinet if I say to endorse you? But he hated Nikki Haley worse. And
Um,
sure, Trump might have said, yeah, but he's not interested in having DeSantis.
no, but I see DeSantis gone. I pulled the Seven of Wands, which means struggles, a lot of struggles for him. And a lot of the stuff, those draconian measures he put in place in Florida, like banning books and this and that, that's all going to be overturned.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. Thoreau K says, is Judge Cannon going to be removed from 45's case because she's delaying the case per his
Yeah,
request?
that's down the road. Yeah.
I see her gone.
She might even have being a judge, that might even be revoked.
See, that's what I feel. I see her off the court because there's going to be a couple whistleblowers that'll come forward and talk about some of the shenanigans that she pulled behind the scenes.
Wow.
And it looks like there's going to be some kind of inquiry. I don't know it's for the DOJ because I pulled the Hierophant, which would be like some sort of person with grayer hair that's going to be looking into her shenanigans. So that's what I see. All right, my dear, your turn.
Um, Elise Stefanik has publicly stated that E. Jean Carroll is lying. Can E. Jean sue her?
Absolutely.
I see Elise Stefanik going down and hard.
So do
I'm
I.
not wishing it. I feel it.
People are thinking Trump might ask her to be his vice president.
No,
But
he already announced he knows who his VP is, and he said it's a he.
figures.
So my hit, of course, Elise Stefanik could be a he. My hit is that's going to be Ben Carson, because if you notice, he's having Ben Carson speak a lot. Ben Carson is just flatline nobody, and that's what he wants. He doesn't want anybody to upstage him.
Well, if Ben Carson is, well, he would do that because he's going to say, you see, I'm not a bigot. But Ben Carson calls himself a physician, but for his physician, he's not very smart. I don't, that's a bad move, but I think you're probably right. But for Stefanik, yes, I do see that Jean Carroll is going to file a lawsuit. And I pulled a card on it and I got the Seven of Cups, which means illusion, delusion, confusion. So that means Stefanik is going to be gone. You're right.
Yeah.
And she thinks that she can get by with this stuff. But, you know, one of the ways to make people accountable is to sue them civilly. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So,
Yeah, I just see them throwing money at it because they just want to get rid of her.
did you hear this one that E. Jean Carroll's case was suspended on Monday because one of Trump's attorneys, what's her name?
Yeah, duck face.
Alina.
Her parents got COVID,
Yeah,
and
she
she
said
said she's not feeling well.
she said that she tested negative, but she's having symptoms. Yeah. But grab this one. Um, Trump whispered in her ear that, oh, the New Hampshire primary is on Tuesday because they delayed the case until Wednesday.
He showed up though at the courthouse today.
Okay, so I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. They were trying to engineer that. I think there was a juror that took ill, but a juror can be replaced with an alternate. But it's
Yeah.
not going to delay the trial. I can tell you that right now.
Well, he's talking about setting it up again tomorrow. She's not the only attorney, right? There's other ones.
I know, I think it was a political ploy, but anyway. Um, so we'll see how that plays out. I just had to throw that in. Oh, did you hear in New Hampshire, there's fake robocalls, people claiming to be Biden, and the robocall is artificial intelligence and is telling people not to vote in the primary, to wait until the general election. And they got caught. And I see
Who was it? Somebody who worked for the right.
Absolutely. I see investigation going on and I see criminal charges for whoever's behind it. So,
Oh yeah, they're doing everything they can.
yep.
So Roxanne said about 1.5 million people protested in the streets of Germany against the far right yesterday. Will Germany be able to keep the far right in check and not gain more seats or gain power?
Absolutely.
That's what I felt too.
It's illegal in Germany, even give a Nazi salute or anything like that. You know, Germany dealt with its past and they're pretty progressive right now. But here's a question. Speaking of protest, thousands protested in Israel calling for elections because Netanyahu, with what he's doing in Gaza, and because he won't negotiate to release the Israeli hostages.
And he doesn't want a second. I saw 2 states, Palestine, and he won't go there.
I know.
So I told you he's going.
Oh, he's
I
going.
felt somebody pick him up by his back of his thing and escorting him out.
Well, there's a war minister in Israel that's calling for elections, but uh, the women in Israel are hopping mad because he won't negotiate to release the hostages, and they're saying, bring our babies home, bring our kids home.
Yes.
So, you and I have both predicted there will be a lot of protest in Israel, and the world is against Netanyahu. They're saying that he's doing this
Right.
like the dog. So anyway, all right, your turn or mine? I don't even know.
I don't know. You were mentioning a couple of things. We got some good questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Word is it that more indictments are coming for Trump soon? What's your take on this?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Um,
I feel that too.
okay, let's see. Um, okay, Holly DeShane, I think we've answered this. Can you look at whether you see Trump and Haley on the Republican ticket against Biden? I see Trump splitting from the actual Republican Party and starting his own. I don't think he'll split. But I don't see Haley
I
starting.
don't see him split. I see him. He's running the Republicans right now,
Oh, well, some of them.
but I don't see him winning either.
I don't either. Go ahead. I mean, it can be,
Okay,
but here's the deal. People have got to get out and vote, because if they don't, the same thing that could happen again that happened in 2016. So people
Yeah.
have got to vote.
right. So Nadine said, hi, Mel and Linda, do you see the outcome of the Innocence Project taking up Scott Peterson's case? Lacey's poor mother has been through enough. I think Scott Peterson murdered his wife. I saw him, she was telling him off. She knew some of his lies, and he got mad and grabbed her or hit her on the back of the head. I saw that as clear as day. And also, look what happened. He took the boat out where they found the body. He was calling that girl, acting like he was single and lying that he was in France. But no, we're going to say somebody that stole, there was a robbery across the street, and they're claiming that the people saw that she saw it. But I don't see that they killed her. I see him, that he killed her.
I think the Innocence Project does great work in getting
Me
people
too.
who are innocent truly off. Okay. This case is just real, it doesn't add up. I mean, from the time it happened, I knew he did it. All right.
Yeah.
And they're talking about now DNA evidence, and I don't know what DNA evidence they have, but it better be some strong DNA evidence, because
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see his conviction overturned. I see him.
I don't either. And he tied her. There's proof of cement blocks that he put in. He tied her here, and there was actually some sort of tie here, because when the baby floated to the shore, which, by the way, the baby was never born, right? It was still in utero. The baby had some of the ties on it when it floated up to shore. So he tied her. I'm telling you, the reason her head isn't there because the head dislodged because of what?
Because that happens.
Um,
But I don't know. I don't think that he's got a chance of getting his case overturned. I don't even think, I don't even know if he'll get a new trial. I'm not feeling that.
okay.
I don't think the
Yeah.
DNA evidence is compelling enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Pam says, will Ruben Gallego become Arizona's senator? I don't Gallego or something. I don't know.
If he's a blue, he will.
Yeah, if he's a Democrat, yes. Will Harry Dunn become Maryland's representative? If he's Democrat, yes.
I see Democrats winning left and right.
So do I. And something about Eugene Vidman become a Virginia congressperson.
Yes, he'll win.
Okay. All righty, go ahead.
Patty says, I'm concerned about King Charles' upcoming surgery. Both of you stated Charles won't stay king for long. My instincts say there will be complications with his surgery or an aneurysm and force him to step aside.
I don't see that.
That may happen, but not with this particular surgery.
I think he'll pull through this surgery with flying colors, actually.
Yeah,
I think at some point, illness would prevent him from staying as king. But in a way we were lucky, his mom, she was on the throne for how many years? It was a long time.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this would be the last queen in a very long time. So, and the way she came to power was really strange because her uncle abdicated and her father was next in line, and then she was next in line.
And they were mad about the abdication, although it might have saved the United Kingdom because he was pro-Hitler.
Right, exactly. I like your blouse, by the way, Linda.
Oh, this whole thing?
This whole thing. I got this one when we went to San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
Got it for
You
sale.
had time to shop in San Francisco?
No, I got it here. I ordered it online, but
Oh.
I wore it in San Fran. All right. Somebody asked Laura Divari, what is the future of streaming sites? Will the public revolt get tired of the increases? No, I see streaming sites increasing more and more.
Yeah,
And I think that's going to be the way for television in the future.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Your turn.
Diana, this is an interesting question. Would you provide some insight into the increase of school refusal by school-aged children? Science is just beginning to study school avoidance / refusal, so there is not much support for these parents and students. What do spirits say?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. Say it again.
Apparently there an increase of school refusing to go to school by children.
Okay.
And science is just beginning to study school avoidance refusal. There is not much support for these parents / students.
Well, I still see laws passed that kids have to go to school.
Yeah,
Some parents choose to homeschool. Here in Illinois, it's legal. In some states, I don't know. But, I've talked to parents who have homeschooled their kids, and in the beginning, they didn't know quite what they were getting into. And, 9 times out of 10, they end up going to public school. But if the kid refuses to go to school because they're being bullied or something like that,
right.
what I see is legislation being passed to send that kid to an alternative school. So places where they wouldn't get bullied. Like a lot of times kids that are LGBTQ get bullied. And so
Right.
here in Illinois, if there's a learning problem or something, and if that particular school can't handle it, then that school district has to pay to send that child to a school in another district where they have facilities for it. So
Right, exactly.
I see more stuff like that, but just kids refusing to go to school. I mean, what happens if your 7-year-old says, I'm not going to school? I'd be like, yeah, you are.
Well, then, and if you can manage that, you should be taken away from your parents.
Correct,
They're
exactly.
gonna let you just say no.
Right. I agree. All right. Yeah, my turn, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Linda and Mel. Sylvia Munoz says, hi, Sylvia. She always asks questions. I love it. Chuck Grassley's grandson, Patrick Grassley, is considered to replace his grandfather's senator's seat. Will Patrick win?
No,
I don't think so. And is Patrick like his grandfather? Uh, uh,
well, the grandfather's a big deal. He likes him.
right, but I don't.
But
Yeah.
if he goes off, that guy did nothing. Most of these guys do nothing in office.
I agree. So,
So here's always blessed. Recently at Melania's mother's funeral, her and Barron were in separate car from Trump. What is the state of their marriage? Will she go on the political trail with him once he becomes the GOP nominee?
well, they might have been in separate cars because Trump is still wasting taxpayers' money to be covered by the Secret Service, which I'm totally against. And now that he's a candidate, I guess he gets that coverage. Um, I don't think she wants to be first lady again, you know?
I don't either, but I think she'll do it if she needs to.
Well, she'll probably stand behind him, but if she does, I wonder whose speech she'll steal this time. Remember, she stole Michelle Obama's speech,
She didn't do it. I read the book by her, the assistant, the one that turned on her.
right?
And not Melania, Ivanka told her, we'll give you a speech to give. Don't worry, we got you covered. She took that speech, which was Michelle Obama's speech, and read it like it was her speech, not knowing that they had taken Michelle Obama's and they thought it was funny.
They did it to make her
And
win. Yeah.
she didn't steal it. She didn't know they stole it. She didn't, but they did it just to make her look bad.
Well, then, where's the
And
accountability?
by the way, Trump didn't go down on Ivanka either. He didn't say, how dare you or nothing.
Right. They didn't care. But here
No,
again, if you're a candidate like that, then it should have been, or going to be first lady or whatever, it should have been up to her to research that.
she don't research nothing.
I know. This is my point, but still. I
She
mean,
doesn't, maybe a hair product she'll research, but not that.
when she gave that speech, I'm like, wait a minute.
I know. And this gal, Stephanie, who was her assistant, was mortified that this happened. And Melania doesn't react. It's really weird, except to say, I hate effing Christmas, she was.
I know. She's like, oof. Yeah, she's not very nice either.
No, they say she's just as wicked as he is.
Okay. So here we go. Hello, Mel and Linda. Do you ever see California turning red like in the 80s? In Orange County, California, there are a lot of Trump Republican fans. Kind of concerned. No, I do not see California going red. Absolutely not.
No. And by the way, they're going to have not Adam, what's his name? The one who's running, Atticus, whatever his name is. And Barbara Lee and Katie Porter. They're going to have, where they ask them questions here on our channel over here. So I'm going to watch that.
Like a town hall.
Yeah. This is interesting. Velda says, can you tell me why my bakery sales have tanked? What can I do not to go bankrupt? I heard, and I don't know if this is true, Velda, but I heard that these people are taking these injections now.
Yes.
One of the things that goes away is needing sweets.
Yep.
And they're saying there's a lot of people aren't going out to restaurants as much. They're not buying bakery products, etc. Could that be it?
I think so. I think a lot of people are kind of, I forget the injections, but, watching their sweets and things like that. You're right. But that pendulum will swing back. I think it's,
Okay.
if you can hang in there, what I would do was push organic breads and things like that if you can find flour without GMO like they do in Europe, that would sell actually.
Yeah.
When I eat bread here that I get at the store, I feel, oh, when I go to Europe and I eat the bread, oh my God, it's amazing because they don't put GMOs in it. And
Yeah.
so, but I pulled a card for her and I got the 10 of Pentacles. So if she can hang in there, the business at some point will begin to increase.
It'll get profitable.
Well,
Especially come VD day, things will start picking up.
I see that, she should start doing some sweet tables for weddings and things like that.
Yeah.
And that would get her busy. So, I hear it needs a little bit better marketing, but, at least it'll get a little worse, but she'll take action for marketing and things like that to start getting, more
Good.
business. All right.
Joe Running, were there aliens at Bayside in Miami or just another X-File episode? 60 police cars there for kids doing a smash and grab ? I just never got aliens.
I don't get aliens on that one. No. I think it was.
I never got aliens. I don't know what this is about, but I'm almost, aliens, at least the ones I've talked to, they're not into scaring people like that.
I think it was somebody that perpetrated a hoax. That's what I think.
Okay.
All right. Okay, this is for you, Linda. Okay. Jen says, football question. Winner of next week's game, Detroit Lions or San Francisco 49ers?
Oh,
You
I
know,
can't
Linda loves
read
our
on that.
49ers.
I can't read on something like that because I'm too, like, I'd probably say 49ers, but it's because I'm too much in love with the 49ers. So I get those wrong. Of all things, I will get calls on
Me too.
games
I'm
wrong.
going to say 49ers only because I know you're a 49ers fan.
And you're smart, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
smart.
But that great, who's playing the 49ers again?
The Detroit Lions.
They're good.
They're
They're
very.
real good.
See,
But a friend of mine said, okay, they've never made it to the Super Bowl, by the way. A friend of mine said, but they're like up in order now. They're really good. I think their record's even better than the Niners. But they all got real pompous. The fans have gotten he said they're actually showing their ass. Just like he said Philadelphia, when Philadelphia was winning, had some of the worst fans on record. They kicked a guy out of the Philadelphia game, and he got pissed off and punched a police horse 5 times.
I wish the horse would have kicked them.
People get over
I know.
zealous about their teams.
I know. What I do see coming though is a big surprise toward the end. So I don't know if somebody gets like a field goal or at the very end when before time's running out scores, and that's a win.
I do think it'll be close. And you know, that last game that we just had, let me tell you, that team that was playing them, kudos to them. But the 49ers were off. Something was wrong.
Well,
But they intercepted a ball. Oh my God.
in the beginning, the game's going to be boring and everybody's going to be, Mel's wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but I want to tell you something. The second half is going to be a real nail biter.
Okay. The 49ers always do real good in the second half.
I don't know. Detroit is going to be formidable.
Always Blessed said, will Trump choose DeSantis as VP? Nope. Nor Haley.
Trump doesn't want anything to do with this thing. He's going to play him like a fiddle. And how much you want to bet they might seem buddy-buddy for a while, but then Trump will turn on DeSantis like Trump turns on everybody else.
He turns on everybody.
When it no
But he's not
longer
going to be president, so who cares?
when he no longer has, as long as DeSantis is useful for Trump, they'll be buddy-buddy. But when he outplays his usefulness, Trump will give him the heave-ho. All right. I think it's your time, right?
No, I just did one.
Oh, okay. So we've already touched on Trump's running mate. Dakota Kelt asked, there's a rumor floating around in North Dakota that Governor Burgum will be selected as Trump running mate. I found this rather dubious. She wants to know if that'll be the running mate. I don't think so. I'm not.
For who?
There is a rumor floating around in North Dakota that Governor Burgum will be selected as Trump's running mate.
Is that a male?
Yes. I find this.
I know it's a male. He said he already picked who it is. For some reason, I thought it was Ben Carson, but.
They say, I find this rather dubious. What do your guides say? I don't know.
I'm almost feeling no, too.
That's what yeah. All right, your turn.
Will Bannon be sentenced? He was sentenced.
Well,
was he pardoned? He was pardoned for stealing money from people, but there's another lawsuit coming up on a different, like federal or something for that. But I do see Bannon doing jail time.
I've always seen Bannon going to jail.
Yeah.
Even if Trump pardoned him, I saw him going to jail for other stuff. So,
Right.
Okay. Jitterbug 22. Hello, Auntie Mel and Miss Beautiful Linda. Well, she got the beautiful Linda part right. Okay.
Obviously a person of great taste.
A person that has wonderful vision. Will Fani Willis be forced to step down from the RICO case against the thug, or will her lead prosecutor alleged affairs step down and said? Is his soon-to-be ex-wife getting money from the thug or any of his supporters?
Whose ex-wife?
Okay.
The guy,
So
the Georgia case?
What she's asking is if Fonnie Willis will step down or the lead prosecutor step down because of the alleged affair.
The lead prosecutor may step down, but not Fonnie.
I think the lead prosecutor will, but the other part of the question was, is the ex-prosecutor, soon to be ex-wife, getting money from Trump or any of his supporters? Well, don't you think it's kind of odd that they came up with this whole thing that they're seeing each other in a affair right during this case? I'm
Hell yeah.
feeling Trump was behind a little bit of that too,
Hell yeah.
but I still see Fonnie on the case. I think the lead prosecutor might step down, but
Fonnie is determined. Let me tell you something.
he's not going to give up.
Fonnie is determined.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've got a good question, but go ahead. It's your turn.
No, it isn't. Didn't I do the last one?
I just read that one.
Oh, okay. Hold on one
Sorry.
second. What's going to happen to Sarah Huckabee?
The pearls?
She's a nothing burger. You know, she has a 28% likability rate. People didn't like her stealing that thing and lying about it.
The podium gate. I've
Yeah.
always seen her voted out. So, you know, at some point she might want to run for House or Senate or something, but I see her voted out as governor down there. And they're not going to let this investigation go. I think they're going to, whoever comes in
Well,
is
you know, she's from what, Arkansas?
Arkansas.
You do have some people that are just, the reason she got voted in is because of Trump. But I just see, when it comes to women, I'm going to tell you, there's no respect there. They're not going to give her a chance.
Did you see that when she was Trump's press secretary, that she was so anti-LGBTQ and she went to this restaurant and a lot of LGBTQ people went there and they asked her.
Who, you're talking about? Yeah, and they booed her.
Yeah, no, they asked her to leave and she did. And then Trump comes up and says, oh, that restaurant's a dirty place and this and that. Is oh, really? Well, then why all your politician friends eat there?
Right. No, she's not like.
Okay. All right. Oh, this is a good one. We've talked about this, but the second part of this question is cool. It's cool to be kind. Yes, it is. That's the name of it. It's cool to be kind. Dear Mel and Linda, what do you see for Ron DeSantis's political future? There are rumors that he's planning on running for Senate. Do you see him being elected to the Senate? I'm hopeful that he'll never hold another elected office.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
No. And once he's not governor anymore, there was a law that he had changed in Florida, like if you're running for office, that you could still stay governor. That'll change. They'll change that.
That'll change. And also, he doesn't have anything like that lawsuit he did with Disney. It's going to cost Florida a lot of money.
Absolutely. You know, I keep saying, you don't mess with Mickey Mouse.
No.
I mean, that was his political suicide, is when he took on Disney.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Disney will win.
Yeah.
Because behind the scenes, they're going to fund another candidate and make big contributions. All right, your turn.
What's the future for the homeless mentally ill in the US?
Well, as a former social worker, don't even get me started about how the way we treat mental illness in this country.
Yeah, but the mentally ill are refusing to go into a place to be worked on. So they're thinking about changing the law that you can make them go.
Well, I think the law will be changed that you can make them go, but I think what they'll do is you know, until they're stabilized again. And how do you determine if they're stable, you know?
A lot of them come out and then they go back into the drug scene.
Correct. But, you know, I think if we had better identification and treatment for mental illness, but a lot of homeless aren't necessarily people mentally ill. Some are immigrants who can't find jobs. Like there's 10 people not far from here and they're living under a bridge, but they have like tarps up and everything like that. And we found a shelter for them during this cold snap at a church. But you know, they get little jobs here and there, but my cousin and I have been taking them food and all of that stuff. And there's 10 living there.
Wow.
And I would take a few in my house, but I can't like have 10 come in. But, and I talked to the guy in Spanish and he told me the story and he's not lying, I could tell. And so I think they came from I forget, but it was really suppressed country, and they made their way to Mexico. Some, I don't know how they got here, but it's a sad story. So I think I do see immigration reform coming at some point as well.
Yeah, but that's a different thing. There's homelessness and then there's illegals that
Correct.
come in
But
with no permission.
not homeless people are mentally ill, some
Yeah.
are. But look at San Francisco, the rate of homeless there. And I'm
Oh,
sure that not all those people are mentally
when
ill.
you were there, did you see the homeless?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah.
I felt bad. I felt really bad. All right. Um,
We left all those sandwiches out there for them.
I know, I know. Um, it's my turn, I think. Okay.
No, it's not. It's my turn.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
How will the ancestors and spirit guides send their guidance to the collective in 2024?
Run that by me again.
How will the ancestors and spirit guides send their guidance to the collective in 2024? Be awake, keep your mind quiet. And no, it's going to be a little tough up until the middle of the year, and then you should see it flow.
It's yeah, like, don't let the fear hold you back. You've got to let it get behind you and push forward. And
Yeah,
it's going to seem like they're winning for a while. Uh, like, Trump will score some wins, but but at the end of the day, I see justice prevailing.
right,
And we
right.
just have to hold that trust.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Mel and Linda. I love your shows. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Will Hamas and Hezbollah attack U.S. embassies and military bases in Europe and Middle East for helping Israel? Will NATO and the U.S. send ground troops against these two groups? I don't really see U.S. embassies and has attacked from Hamas, because I think they know what they do is going to make it a lot worse for them in Gaza. Um, I think they underestimated Netanyahu. Um, but I think in a way, they wanted it to look like this because then they can say, you see how bad Netanyahu is. But I still think Putin and Iran's behind all this Hamas stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, I do see that
I do see more fighting taking place.
I do too. I absolutely. And I do
Excuse me.
see an embassy or a base, they'll try, all right? And it'll make the news. Everybody's going to be in an uproar, especially since an election year. I think they want Trump in there so they can disband, because they know Trump will try to weaken
Oh,
NATO.
he'll hand them whatever they want.
Exactly. But they won't be successful at the end of the day. What do you think? Do you see attacks being done?
Yeah,
So do I. But
yeah. But
uh,
don't worry, it's going to be rough, and then it quiets down. Don't forget, I really have a strong feeling Putin will be a nothing burger coming up.
I think you're right.
And
Okay.
then also when they know Trump's not getting in there, that calms things down too.
All right. Your turn.
I don't have anyone.
Oh, we went through them all.
Well, a lot of them were thank you and
Got it. Okay, can you tell us when the eclipse happens this year? Will everyone feel a higher vibrational energy changed or shift in our high vibrational energy for the purpose of moving higher vibrationally? Julie Blank. I don't think that the eclipse is going to cause any kind of change in higher
for
vibration.
those who are open, it will.
For those that are open, yeah, but
Yeah,
most people it'll be like, wow, I saw the eclipse.
yeah.
I think we've got time for just a few more. Okay. Here's a good one. Deb Matthews. When Cheeto passes, will he lie in state in the White House? And when he is convicted of criminal charges he is facing, will he lose his title of former president? Well, if he's convicted, he's still president, unless he was removed from office, which he wasn't.
Right, right.
Uh, um, for protocol, I'm sure they would let him lie in state in the White House. I mean, I'm sorry, in the Capitol.
Yeah, I've discussed that before too.
What did you say?
Unfortunately, I felt like they will feel obligated.
Right, exactly. Okay,
Like you can't shut off everybody that adored him.
well, this is a good one. L.E. Terrain. What will happen to the Baltimore Sun that was just brought by Sinclair owner David Smith? What will happen to the staff, especially the women? Well, I think the same thing will happen to that kind of happened to Twitter. It's going to go way down. That's what I see. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see too many people interested in it,
Okay.
for sure.
Um, oh, this is a good one. Lee Rosado says, can you check into Stephen Miller? Will he be investigated? I think that,
Yes,
yes, absolutely.
he's
He's
gotten away with it so far, but he's underhanded, terrible man.
right. Um, okay. All righty. Irene Chavez, this is a good one. Hi, Mel and Linda. Love you guys together. Thank you. We love
Thank you.
us together too.
Yep, yep.
Okay. My question is this. We all know Trump likes to project. When he ran against Ted Cruz, he blamed Ted's dad for the JFK assassination. Could it be possible Fred Trump was somehow involved? We all no, I don't think Fred.
No, I don't get that at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
Okay, and I've just got one more, and then
Okay.
oh, this is a good one.
What?
Miss Nunziata says, hi, Mel and Linda. Since Bill O'Reilly has two of his books banned in Florida, do your guides see this as a start of the Republicans rethinking banning books? I didn't know he had two of his books banned in Florida.
Yeah, two of them.
Well,
That Kennedy one and the other one.
is it banned by the Republicans?
Well, yeah, it's the Moms for Liberty or whatever.
I
They
didn't-
like to ban anything.
But I don't.
But don't forget, they brought up, the Dems brought up, or somebody brought up, well, then in that case, you need to ban the Bible.
Oh, yeah, and I've been saying that all along. You're going to ban this, then why don't you ban that? You know, you don't get to do it willy-nilly.
Exactly.
You know, they're using the book banning as a way to pander to the ultra right-wing Christian nationalist. And
Yes.
Christianity, count me out. But ultimately, it won't win. I mean, I see book banning stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a suppression of free speech. It really is. And
Right.
a right to read. We should have the right to read what we want.
Exactly. Exactly.
I heard in some states that people want to go, you know, on porn sites like Texas, you have to show your state ID. Is that crazy?
But there's some people dumb enough to do that.
Oh, I know. Be like, what? Anyway, that's all I have.
That's all I have.
All right. So
All right, my friend.
next week you're
Next week, my channel.
all right.
I got a lot to do today.
All right, everybody, stay well, stay safe. I would say be warm, but we're gonna have a heat wave. So
Well, that's what they said. They could be wrong.
well, you know, I think
Oh, they're talking about the fake Biden robocalls.
what is it saying?
Fake Biden robocall tells New Hampshire Democrats not to vote on Tuesday.
So now that it's out there, everybody will know to vote. I think
Yeah.
there was a write-in for New Hampshire anyway, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. But anyway.
All right, honey.
All
You
right,
take care. I got a lot of chores to do.
all right, everybody. Namaste, stay well. And next week, your channel.